Your fated new beginnings and endings await you. New moon solar eclipses typically bring new beginnings of fated things into your life, and this one has so much energy around new beginnings, but it also has so much energy of releasing. It's the last of the Aries solar eclipses, so whatever has been beginning and transforming since 2023 in this area of your chart is finally really taking off and settling in. The final shift is here. Something will be, or has already, left your life to make room for the new evolution of you to emerge. Let's get into it. But first, an introduction. Hi, I'm Sarah with Life with Training Wheels, where I use tarot and Western tropical astrology, whole sign house system, among other spiritual and healing techniques to help people find their voice, leave their victim mentality behind, and take their life by the horns. I provide understanding and clarity to situations you may be faced with so that you can face them from an empowered place. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, thank you for watching. If you like this comment, please give it a like, drop me a comment, and subscribe. It'll really help my channel out. Okay, so this new moon solar eclipse is happening at 9 degrees of Aries. 9 degrees exactly. This is also where Mercury turned retrograde at the lunar eclipse just 2 weeks ago. So this is a very important degree point. Because of that, the first thing I want to do is look at what the message of the Sabian symbol is for that degree point. So what are Sabian symbols? Sabian symbols are a set of 360 channeled images, one for each degree of the zodiac, received by clairvoyant Elsie Wheeler in 1925 and interpreted by astrologer Mark Edmund James. Each symbol offers a poetic, intuitive message that adds a deeper layer of meaning to the degree it's connected to. Think of it like a symbolic oracle for each degree of the zodiac, helping us tune into the essence of spiritual lesson of a moment in time. The original works and interpretation on Mark Edmund Jones can be found in his book, but there are many other online sources that provide interpretations of his interpretations. I'm going to go through the 3 most popular sources that I've found, as they all word things just slightly differently, and one might strike more meaning in you than another. But I think they're all such beautiful interpretation. They're all such a beautiful interpretation of the era that we're entering into and the ultimate meaning of this eclipse without even getting into the details of what's going on in the chart. Okay, so this first one is from this book by Dane Rudyard. I think that might be how you say his name. And this can be found online, and a lot of astrologers use his interpretation. So I'll leave a link to this website in the description. But so you would scroll down and find 9 degrees of Aries. So it's in what he calls scene 1. So then we go to find the 9th degree. Okay, so the Sabian symbol for this eclipse, 9 degrees of Aries, is a crystal gazer. So the keynote is the development of an inner realization of organic wholeness. The crystal sphere symbolizes wholeness. Within the sphere, images take form. These images may reveal future events, but more significantly, they picture the situation as a whole. The situation with the clairvoyant is meant to interpret. The nascent mental faculties operating through still dominant emotions or collective cultural incentives act as a centralizing and whole-making power. What the intelligence perceives in its concentration is the function of every inner impulse and outer events in the open field of a personality still unclouded by egoism. At this fourth stage of the fivefold sequence, the new technique required for the development of individualized consciousness is revealed. Concentrated attention. So that is from his book. Okay, so the second interpretation is from SabianSymbols.com. So Aries 9, a seer gazes intently into a crystal ball in front of them. This symbol shows the ability to focus, take in insights, analyze meaning, and draw conclusions from the available information. It is likely that the whole picture is there in front of you, but you may need to interpret its meaning. With a little concentrated effort, you will be able to see things very clearly. There is the ability to observe things that others may miss. Try really tuning in and looking within for answers, as you have the ability to see them with just a bit of focus. What is your unconscious mind trying to tell you? Is your gaze wide enough or too narrow? Looking ahead to see the signs, flashes of inspiration, tuning in and looking within for inspiration. Creative, inner visualization, aura readings, penetrating the mysteries, clairvoyant abilities, being a seer. The shadow side of this could be confusing literal meanings with symbolic messages, always looking this way and that, but not at the center for answers, and getting lost in the big picture. So this final interpretation that I'm going to read is my favorite. So this is from the website jamesburgess.com, a crystal gazer. So I like that it has an image, first of all. And then it says, perception of what is shapes what is to be. And I think his interpretation really captures the essence of what this whole eclipse is about better than the other two. I feel like this one captures the kind of the transition point between this Pisces and Aries energy and the blending of the two of them. I feel like it really captures what we are going through and moving through as a collective right now overall. So, perception of what is shapes what is to be. A person who gazes into a crystal ball is attempting to access an aspect of the mind that needs to be stimulated by non-rational techniques. Often called right brain intelligence, this half of the mind's understanding is found through soft surrender to intuition. That's that that's that Pisces energy, and developed by committed meditation. Through the marrying of this with rational thought, which is the Mercury aspect of this, right? We are able to perceive we are able to perceive with much greater acuteness the linkage between what is imagined and what comes to pass. We actually have the capacity to bring to mind an entire universe, to grasp its operating principles, and to learn of the tools by which to manipulate. And it says personal experience. Rather surprisingly, we find it to be entirely subjective. The bigger cosmic picture, though indeed accessible, is only accessible through personal experience, Aries, with all the uniqueness, prejudice, and ambiguity that entails. We see that our perception of who we are, Aries, with all its convoluted oddities, is none other than a perfectly authentic graphic representation of our slant of outer reality. We come to truly understand that what we imagine is the map of what we will come to experience. Fiery imagination, that's the Mercury in Aries, as well as Neptune, which we haven't talked about yet, but that is coming into the 0-degree point of Aries, the very beginning point of limitless possibility. Fiery imagination and watery intuition, the Pisces energy, and Neptune, married together, offer unique and mysterious glimpses of what is to come. From nothing more than these glimpses, we are willing to modify the set of our journey and bend towards the dark temptation of the unknown. There is a hint of the hero's quest beginning to emerge. Hero is not pioneer nor leader. To realize his potential, he needs to resolve the paradox of how one can be simultaneously thesis and antithesis of society. The hero is thrown up from within the community at a time of crisis, in order to rework the principles of the group consciousness into a new form. The crisis has arisen because the old ways are no longer being interpreted meaningfully for the evolved times. Danger is at hand, and the hero is ready and willing to act upon the omens that speak of permanent, radical change. Interestingly, this so often occurs in stories when the hero consults the oracle, typically a crystal-gazing woman. A cosmic interactive partnership. The world and the individual are thus in a cosmic interactive partnership, each in time reflecting the other in every mood and every situation. So this allows a rough indication of what is to come, since what we feel now must somehow be reflected in the future. We create our own reality. With care, this facility can be used to shape our attitudes and strategies in organizing outcomes to suit our personal convenience. We are aware that taken beyond a helpful level, such ability inclines us towards idle curiosity. Why seek information about the future if we have not the willingness to shape it? Gazing upon it will shape it. That is cosmic law. So are we clear enough, energetic enough, to deal with the effects and consequences of that? So this is just beautiful, and to me, summarizes and encapsulates the cosmic moment that's kind of cool, the cosmic moment that we find ourselves in. So now we'll go ahead and get into the chart and its specifics. Okay, so here is the chart. Like I said, we have 9 degrees of Aries is where the new moon solar eclipse is. And we also have Mercury retrograde now at 0 degrees of Aries. It's at the 0 degree point is the point of raw new beginnings, and that's at the exact time of this new moon solar eclipse, so this is very fitting. And the closing out of the Pisces cycles, as Neptune is set to shift to 0 degrees Aries within 24 hours and meet up with Mercury retrograde at the 0 degree point. This is an initiation. Things may still be a little bit cloudy as both Mercury retrograde and Neptune can cause some confusion. Yet at the same time, this can bring so much clarity to mind. Psychic abilities for the collective may come online. I truly feel that that is going to be coming. But with Mercury retrograde, it's not something you'll be sure you can trust right away, and certainly not something you'll want to share right away. Maybe this is a time of testing that ability, right? We don't need things like Neuralink or anything like that to tap into this collective consciousness. We have so many capabilities and information that we can tap into ourselves. We just need to uncover the hidden mysteries to find it. And there are so many hidden mysteries being uncovered. Think the pyramid discoveries being uncovered. And if you listen to anything by Greg Braden, there's so many mysteries just about us and our DNA and what we are capable of. And I think that this is the initiation point of that. I think this is the starting point of, number 1, learning about these things, and number 2, being able to turn them on. So this is a time to trust your intuition and what clarity or insights or ideas are coming to you. This is a time of new beginnings for the collective and the world. We are entering into a new era. We really are. And although the path may not be clear yet, as we're still sorting through all the old belief systems, learning systems, communication systems, and determining what needs to go and what needs to stay, we know, we all can feel that we are headed for something different, and it is fated. And with the lunar eclipse, the spring equinox, and now this solar eclipse, it really is starting now. I mean, really it started back when Pluto entered Aquarius, but, you know, this year, and I'll have more videos coming up about this, but tomorrow we have Neptune moving into Aries, which it hasn't happened in something like 180, 160 years, something like that. Saturn later this year will also be moving into Aries. Uranus will be moving into Gemini. All these things, all these outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and then Saturn moving as well, all moving in the same year, and then they'll be retrograding back and then going fully into their new signs for their cycle in 2026. Like the time period between right now is the beginning, through 2027 is really huge. It is so much collective energy. Like not only is our own personal lives going to change dramatically, but also the energy in the collective, where we are meant to go as a human race, really, as a society, is really changing. And if you listen to, you know, a lot of different people, there's talks about how our DNA is changing. There's talks about, you know, finding more and more, hold on. Sorry, I got interrupted by a phone call. But yeah, I mean, there's hidden mysteries, you know, perhaps about not only what we're capable of, but ancient civilizations, you know, maybe star beings and you know, potentially life under the water. Like, it's mind-blowing, the possibilities and the information that I think we are going to be learning of over the next couple of years. And it is really going to shift everything. Like, this is not... 2025 to 2027 is not a normal time. Like, there have been interactions between Neptune and Pluto and Uranus apparently in the past. I think I heard something about the last time that they met up and had configurations similar to what we're going to see over the next couple of years is something from around like 566 BCE, so a long time ago. That's how major of a shift this is. However, there was not one of those planets at the 0 degree of Aries point, which is the point of the very beginning. That is the beginning of the astrological wheel. That is the beginning. That's the initiation point. That's the beginning of everything. So this is insane, really. It's like the changes that are going to happen, I think, are nothing that we can imagine. We can't predict it. We can't, like, it's beyond our comprehension. Kind of when you think about, like, what may happen after you die. Like, we may all have thoughts about that, but nobody really knows, you know? So that's kind of the energy that we're in. And I think that Sabian symbol of 9 degrees of the solar eclipse kind of encapsulated that. Like, we can tap into the collective consciousness. We can tap into the big picture. And that's kind of the Pisces energy, right? The spirituality energy, the connectedness of all that is energy, but we are all seeing it through the lens of self, which is Aries, the lens of potentiation. There's all these different timelines, or potentialities, and in every situation, in every moment, we have a choice to make, right? And that is the 0 degrees of Aries, like that is all the choices that we have. And so we can use this Neptunian, this Pisces energy of, these are all the possibilities. This is the one I want to choose. And then it's going to manifest. So this is a huge point in time for us. Okay, so then Mars rules Aries. So we look over here to Mars, and it's in Cancer, where it doesn't particularly like to be, and it's in a square to Chiron. They're both at 22 degrees, so it's like an exact square. So we may be feeling triggered and emotional, perhaps because of the big endings occurring as Neptune leaves Pisces for the first time since 1861, when the American Civil War began. And then, we've got Saturn, like, ending there. Like, there's so much endings, but particularly Neptune, as it's going to be leaving Pisces within 24 hours. So, in fact, we may feel a little unsteady, a little unsure, a little bit protective of wanting things to stay the same because the new is unknown and scary. Yet at the same time, we're so ready to finish ripping everything down and starting over. And square Chiron, this is not only our collective wounds of sovereignty, but also our individual wounds of understanding who we are and being reborn. We're all being reborn. Realizing all the places we've been held back and manipulated, whether that's by people in our relationships or governments and institutions. This is the turning point of reclaiming those things, but it's uncomfortable. Mars is also in a trine to Saturn in Pisces, the North Node in Pisces, Venus retrograde in Pisces, and Neptune in Pisces. This means that while these wounds are popping off in Aries, it's for our best good. We're meant to move forward on building new boundaries and structures while tearing down the old, Saturn. Trust that what is happening is for the highest good, North Node, and guiding us to our next evolution of growth, and to stand true and fight for our new realizations around our value systems, love, finances, resources, that's Venus, and to have the courage to let go of the last things that we need to let fall away, Neptune. We also have Uranus and Taurus in a sextile to Saturn, Uranus, North Node, Venus retrograde, and Neptune in Aries, calling for more shakeups. Uranus is the planet of shakeups. You may think you know everything that's leaving or coming in, but you don't. And this just confirms that. But the shakeups should be ones that are exciting because it's a trine, and ones that you're like, yes, I'm ready for this. This is a little, unsteady, but I like it and I'm excited for it. This is such an exciting time that we're living in. And, so I'm going to go into it by rising sign. And I know in the collective, there's a lot of fear, partly because both the Pisces energy and the Neptune energy are a little bit foggy. Like I said, along with that Mercury retrograde, it's a little unclear, but we can all feel the energy that we're moving towards something better. And, I always think, there's such a divide between all the politics and everything, but order comes from chaos, right? And the astrology is showing that. Like, there's the systems need to be torn down in whatever way that's going to happen. And whoever was going to be in office, the systems were going to be torn down. That's what the astrology says. And this is like the birthing point. This is the birthing point. We get to dream up, Neptune, what we want this new world to look like, right? Combining all this universal love, this compassion, this everything of the Pisces energy, but tearing down the way it's been manipulated, tearing down the way things have been hidden from us, because a lot of things in Pisces is hidden as well, right? So uncovering all that needs to be uncovered, and then taking action. Aries is the taking action on it. That's the doing. That's the, okay, let's tear it down from this chaos. Let's rebuild. And the crystal gazer, right? Looking into the crystal ball, looking into all these potentialities, all these possibilities, and choosing what we believe is the best for us. Choosing what we believe is the best for the collective. Choosing the path, like, it's just so beautiful. So anyway, we're going to get into this by rising sign. I recommend listening first for your rising sign, as that will show the area of life where things are most likely to manifest in your physical existence. Then I would listen to your sun sign, as that will be more where your like ego and mind will be focused on things. And then listen to your moon sign, and that is where you may feel things more emotionally. So depending on your own personal chart, you may resonate in what's set up, you know, how your natal chart is set up. You may feel that you resonate better with your rising sign, your sun sign, or your moon sign. But regardless, I do recommend listening to all three and kind of merging the energies together. When I look at my own chart, I really feel like all the energy, like I can see how all the energies are working together and talking to each other between my rising sun and moon. And how, one is showing up most strongly in the physical world. Another one, my sun sign, I feel like the stuff showing up in my physical world can sometimes be because that's where my, drive is taking me. And then the emotions could be like where I'm feeling, sensitive or more excited or something like that about the whole situation and the big picture of what's going on. So that's how I use it personally. So let's get into it by rising sign. Aries, sun, moon, and rising. So the eclipse is happening in your first house. So this is your personal rebirth. You're shedding an old identity and stepping into a new way of being seen. Who you are is changing, and it's faded. Let go of outdated versions of yourself. You're being invited to show up as you, fully and unapologetically. I also want to bring to attention Uranus in your second house. You're being pushed to radically redefine your values, money mindset, and sense of worth. What's truly valuable to you now. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. So this eclipse is happening in your 12th house. So this is a deep soul clearing. Old subconscious patterns, spiritual blocks, and hidden fears are being eclipsed away. You may feel exhausted, emotional, or like you're floating between worlds. Honor the need for rest, and a whole new spiritual chapter is just beginning. I also want to call to attention Uranus in your first house. Your identity is shifting in ways you didn't expect. This is about breaking free from how others expect you to be and choosing who you truly are. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. So, the eclipse is happening in your 11th house, so your community, friendships, and long-term vision are evolving. You're being called to align with people who reflect your true path, not just who you've always known. Old goals are falling away to make room for something more authentic. I also want to call to attention Uranus in your 12th house. This is where hidden truths, subconscious blocks, or spiritual awakenings may catch you off guard. Expect dream downloads or intuitive clarity out of nowhere, and let these things guide you. Okay, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse is happening in your 10th house. So this is a career and legacy level reset. If your outer world doesn't reflect your inner values, change is coming. Let the old role, title, or image fall away. You're stepping into something that feels more aligned with your soul's mission. I also want to call to your attention Uranus in the 11th house. Sudden changes in friendships or community circles are possible. You're being called to align with people who reflect your future, not your past. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse is happening in your 9th house. So old belief systems are crumbling and your worldview is expanding. This is a rebirth of your truth. You may be called to travel, teach, write, or begin a new spiritual quest. Let go of dogma. You're stepping into uncharted wisdom. I also want to call to attention Uranus in your 10th house. Your career path or public identity could take an unexpected turn. Let go of rigid goals. Something more authentic may be emerging. Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse is happening in your 8th house, so this is a deep, energetic reset. Shared resources, intimacy patterns, and emotional entanglements are being illuminated. Let go of control, fear, or scarcity. This is the death of old contracts and the rebirth of your power. I also want to call to your attention Uranus in your 9th house. So shakeups in belief systems, education, or travel plans may occur. Trust the pivot. You're meant to explore a new truth. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse is happening in your 7th house, so your relationships are transforming, romantic, business, or otherwise. This eclipse is asking you to step away from outdated relationship roles and step into more honest, empowered dynamics. Let go of codependency. You deserve mutuality. I also want to call to attention Uranus in your 8th house. Financial shifts, energetic exchanges, or emotional intensity could surface. Let go of control and allow space for true transformation. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse is happening in your 6th house, so your routines, health patterns, or daily work life are up for review. If something is draining your energy, it's time to clear it out. This eclipse brings a powerful moment to reset your habits and create a life that supports your vitality. I also want to call to your attention Uranus in your 7th house. Relationships may surprise you. A sudden shift in connection or realization about your needs in partnership could emerge. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse is happening in your 5th house. So this is a creative and heart-centered rebirth. Old fears around being seen, being loved, or being too much are falling away. You're being invited to play, love, and create from the most authentic parts of yourself. Let joy lead. I also want to call to your attention Uranus in your 6th house. Work, health, or daily routine shakeups are possible. You're being nudged to innovate the way you take care of yourself. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse is happening in your 4th house, so your home, family, and emotional roots are shifting. This may be the release of old ancestral patterns, childhood conditioning, or family dynamics that no longer support your growth. You're building new inner foundations. I also want to call to your attention Uranus in your 5th house. Creative insights or relationship revelations could spark. Something unexpected may reawaken your joy. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. So this eclipse is happening in your 3rd house. Your voice is being reborn. How you think, communicate, and express yourself is evolving. Old mental loops or ways of speaking that kept you small or ending. A new, more empowered truth is coming online. I'd also like to call to your attention Uranus in your 4th house. Home or family dynamics might feel unstable, but it's paving the way for greater emotional freedom and authenticity. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. This eclipse is happening in your 2nd house, so your self-worth and relationship to money are shifting in big ways. You may be letting go of scarcity beliefs or financial situations that limited you. This is a call to trust your inherent value and begin building a life from that truth. I also want to call to your attention Uranus in your 3rd house. New ideas, unexpected news, or shifts in your local environment may surprise you. Stay curious and flexible. If you'd like to go deeper into how this eclipse is activating your chart, head to my website, link in the description below, to book a reading, or comment, and you can reach out to me and we can set one up. Right now I am accepting donation-based work, so if you feel like you're in a spot and you need some help, just let me know what you can afford and we can come up with a custom reading for you that will match that price energetically. If you're not ready for a full session but do want to support my work, as creating this content does take a lot of time and energy, you can buy me a coffee. Link is in the description below. And I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment and let me know how you're feeling this energy. Are you already seeing what's falling away or what's being born? How is this showing up for you, and where does this energy resonate? I would love to hear from you. Please drop a comment below.